Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, PM launches $100 million Fijian green bond. 73% of FMPF members have less than $10,000 in their accounts, and shortage of professional counsellors in schools.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Prime Minister and COP23 President Voreqe Bainimarama made history when he launched the $100 million Fijian green bond on the London Stock Exchange. The PM says he hopes the green bond will be an example that other sovereign governments and private investors will follow, as there's a need for trillions of dollars to flow into investments that produce financial returns and both mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
A first for Fiji in trying to fund the fight against climate change.
This is an important day for Fiji as we celebrate the listing of our sovereign green bond on this great exchange, arguably the premier capital market in the world. And it has been a great thrill for me to be here in person to open the day's trading. Fiji, as you know, a small island state in the Pacific, has brought a novel financial instrument to this famous floor. It's an instrument designed to help our nation cope with the reality of climate change.
Commended for its trailblazing efforts, it's a model that other Pacific Island countries could emulate.
The issuance of a green bond by Fiji is an absolutely landmark event in the evolution of international finance. It's the first sovereign bond of its type in the world, and coming from an emerging nation and on a subject as important as related to climate change, you could not be more pioneering.
With overwhelming interest in the Fijian green bond, trading is expected to be minimal.
This is a real breakthrough, a sovereign green bond issued by the first developing nation, the first country in the southern Pacific, the first small island state, and a bond that has already attracted the confidence of investors. And I doubt there will be much trading in it. I think it will be a buy and hold investment because people are absolutely certain that both of them will be repaid and also want to be part of this regeneration process.
And it was a truly Fijian affair, with the sounds of the lali echoing through the London Stock Exchange. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Alarming statistics by the Fiji National Provident Fund reveals that more than 300,000 members have less than $10,000 in their accounts. According to FMPF, this is due to heavy withdrawals. Pranita Prakash reports.
304,157 FNPF members have balances below $10,000, and Fund Chief Executive Chachi Koroi says Fijians should seriously look into having retirement plans.
The reality of the situation on the ground is quite sad because majority of our people are retiring with low balances. So when they retire with low balances, they are left with very little choices on what they can do to look after themselves after retirement.
Koroi says measures are being put in place to ensure members can save more for retirement.
Members can now opt for additional contribution. Members can actually, allowed under the Act, contribute another 20% to the 10% done by the employer. So you can actually contribute additional 20%. And the benefits, basically, it's tax-free.
A retirement expo has been organized by FNPF to create awareness on saving money for golden age.
We have some government departments, so for people who are thinking about setting up businesses or other things after retirement, these exhibitors will be out there for you to be able to talk to them.
The week-long expo starts next week. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
There is a shortage of professional counsellors for students in the country, and many teachers have stepped in to fill the gap within the school system. This was emphasised by Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum in Parliament today while responding to a question on indiscipline becoming an issue with school students. Said Qayyum says the onus is on parents to discipline their children. Kelly Vadala reports.
There is a great need for professional counsellors as discipline issues in schools have recently made headlines, but the Attorney General says that parents have to play their role.
I've personally seen many a times where the children come home, or in the evenings the parents are there or disappear. They may go to nightclubs, they may be sitting drinking grog with their friends, and the children are actually neglected. I think there is a tendency of the parents simply dumping, in some instances, the children with their teachers.
Opposition leader Rotimi Mukepa says that these discipline issues varies and needs to be addressed.
I heard also of some instances where students threw bus seats out of the bus into the river, verbally abusing teachers, using bad language in public, also smoking whilst wearing their school uniform.
And I'd like to publicly acknowledge the work of the many teachers in Fiji, hundreds of them, that actually have taken on the responsibility of counselling, even though they are not trained professionals. And there is no doubt that the ministry is actually struggling to provide and indeed find professional counsellors. There is a lack of it.
Said Qayyum says they will look at developing a behaviour management policy, and people must develop the understanding and implementation of positive discipline as opposed to negative discipline. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Employment Ministry has received 11,800 complaints from January 2015 to date in relation to work conditions, health and safety at workplaces. Minister Chone Osumate says the ministry has been able to recover about $960,000 as they had sent staff to collect data and determine whether these complaints were genuine. Osumate says the ministry has procedures and standards in place to address the complaints received. He says companies which were found in breach of certain procedures were given 30 days to pay their employees. He adds those companies who still did not comply with the procedures and warnings were taken to the Employment Relations Tribunal.
Over that same period, 11,800 inspections, we had around 6,913 complaints that were lodged with the ministry, and as a result of all the work that was undertaken by the officers, they were able to recover around $398,000 that was paid out to the workers.
Still to come, Bulitavo and Karunaratne to be sentenced end of this month, and Queen Elizabeth Drive to close for 2 weeks. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong Butikola, ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya zo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nando nga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagunto rongo, barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
The defence lawyers of former Member of Parliament Moses Mbulitavo and businessman Jagat Karunaratne today asked the court to consider a suspended sentence for their clients. Mbulitavo and Karunaratne have each been convicted of 1 count of sedition by the Magistrates Court. Pranita Prakash reports.
Defence lawyer, while mitigating on behalf of his client Jagat Karunaratne, said that his client had a zero role in the offending. He asked for leniency and for the court to consider Karunaratne's age, character and his good record. Former Member of Parliament Moses Mbulitavo's lawyer also asked the court for a suspended sentence for her client. She said that 6,276 people had voted for her client during 2014 general elections, and following his conviction, he has lost representation in the parliament. She also said that her client faced ridicule and humiliation, and she referred to incidents as well. She also said that Bulitavo and his family has suffered a lot since 2011 when the charges of sedition were laid on her client. In August 2011, Bulitavo and Karunaratne spray-painted walls in different places between Nausori and Suva with seditious intention of bringing hatred or contempt or to excite disaffection against the government as established by the law. The state lawyer submitted that the two were pulling strings behind the back and arranged for finances to carry out the offending. He said that while more than 6,000 did vote for Bulitavu, more than 200,000 did not vote for him. He said that no matter how popular a person is, law applies to everyone. Karunaratne and Bulitavu will be sentenced on 30th April. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A heavy rain alert is now in force for the Fiji group. As tropical disturbance 14F remains slow-moving, it is expected to bring in heavy rain and strong winds. The Fiji Met Service says that tropical disturbance 14F remains slow-moving and was located approximately 70 kilometers east-northeast this afternoon. TD14F is expected to drift south, and the chance of it developing into a tropical depression is now low. The system has a potential to produce more than 100 millimeters of rainfall, especially in areas of localized and frequent heavy rain from tomorrow and on Saturday.
You see that this is where this disturbance is, and it is just lying to the east-northeast of Rotuma, about 70 kilometers. And this is where the low that has formed. We expect, though it is slow moving at this point in time, we expect the system to move more towards southwards and possibly passes to the west of Fiji Saturday night into Sunday. Some clearance we may be seeing that coming up through the western division later on Sunday, given that the system continues to move as we anticipate our next 24 to 48 hours.
Queen Elizabeth Drive will be closed for 2 weeks as a major pavement repair work will be carried out from next Monday. The Fiji Roads Authority says during the construction phase, a section of Queen Elizabeth Drive from Monikau Road into Bidesi and Buckhurst Park will be closed to motorists. FRA Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says work will include general drainage, gravel pavement, reconstruction and surfacing with chip seal finish.
Queen Elizabeth Drive will cause disruption to the road users. We're trying to alleviate that by doing most of the work at night, so please be aware that there is major traffic, major road work being carried out at night in these locations, and drivers need to be careful when they're driving. We're trying to keep it free during the day in the peak hours for the movement of commuter traffic.
The National Disaster Management Office will immediately set up an operations centre once the Fiji Met Services upgrades its weather advisories from a tropical disturbance to a tropical depression. While responding to a question raised in Parliament on the NDMO response to natural disasters, NDMO Acting Minister Osea Nangamu says the NDMO is always in close collaboration with the Divisional Commissioners. Nangamu says the Divisional Emergency Operations Centre coordinates the establishment of search and rescue teams in collaboration with the Fiji Police Force and the National Fire Authority to be on standby to respond to any calls for emergency evacuation from the public before and during the disaster events.
This activation enables these emergency operation centers to operate on a 12 hours or even 24 hours rotation to ensure that the necessary preparedness action both within government and at the community level is undertaken.
Thousands of people are expected to flock to the FBC's Today FM Park Jam in Suva this weekend. Bull FM Programs Director Sala Veilawa is encouraging the young and old to be part of the annual jam. The alcohol-free event will begin from 6 p.m. and Veilawa says this will be a good opener to the 2-week school holiday break for our children. This is an opportunity for the public to meet their favorite FBC radio and TV personalities. Police will also be monitoring the event to ensure the safety of everyone.
It's a great opportunity for our students, especially after the 3 days of the games. We know it will be a very hectic day for them.
Expect the students and friends to spill over into the city. Okay, we expect a lot of people in the city, so we also are prepared for that as well. And we also have our canine or dog unit that will be around as well, and we also have the drone as part of our security.
Relief and recovery efforts continue in Kandavo, which got the brunt of Tropical Cyclone Kenny that made landfall on the island last week. The National Disaster Management Office has spearheaded the ground teams on the island, which are making their way through 75 villages covering over 2,000 households. NDMO Director Anare Lewaningila says while more than 800 homes sustained damage, around 201 homes have been destroyed and will need to be rebuilt.
The focus for NDMO at this stage is just to complete the recovery and relief phase of the operation before we move into the rehabilitation and reconstruction. Yeah? So whilst we are trying to complete it, we're also bearing in mind in the areas that need to be covered and also ensuring the accuracy of the information that we are receiving.
The Coca-Cola Games is an event where people come out in numbers to support their school, and what differentiates them is the color or clothing of the banners and that they bring. School flags is a must for most spectators, and a particular group to stand out at the National Stadium today selling flags from schools around the country. Kritika Kumar with the details.
Not everyone has time to make their own school flags, but a group from Rewanga decided to make those flags not only for supporters but also to earn money.
We get a good profit from the expenses to the things that we get back. It's like more, so it's kind of like a good business.
Rokondulu says their business should do fine in the 3 days as no one else is opting to sell school flags.
This is a good market to sell our flags because there's not many competition around. So it's a very good place to sell our merchandise for schools.
For a mother, it's a must. She sells her famous roti curry as she has been doing it for past 6 years.
They love roti. The taste of the roti, the different curries.
More unique merchandises are expected to be sold at the Coke Games tomorrow. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, ACS 100-meter sprinter proves too strong for other competitors, but we now join Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Singapore Airlines and Fiji Airways ink new code-sharing agreement. And in growing Fiji, new gym opens in Lavala Beach. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची FM is number 1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची FM सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची FM is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची FM सुनते हैं. मिर्ची FM is hot. I love मिर्ची FM.
हमें इस दिन तक हुआ कि मिर्ची FM में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
In business tonight, Singapore Airlines subsidiary Silk Air and Fiji Airways have inked a new code-sharing agreement. A statement released on Impact Hub Australia says the agreement will provide more convenient connections for passengers travelling from Fiji to 10 destinations in Asia and Europe through Singapore. The agreement entails SIA and Silk Inc. customers accessing Fiji Airways non-stop flights between Singapore and Nadi. Fiji Airways customers will be able to access SIA and Silk Air operated flights to destinations in China, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Thailand and the United Kingdom. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the financial market.
Thank you. Forex today was filled with headlines. Looking at earlier session releases, the Eurozone March headline inflation dipped slightly to 1.3%. However, their core inflation remained unchanged at 1%. Bank of Canada held its policy rate unchanged at 1.25%. Meanwhile, the US dollar held steady this morning, supported by higher long-term US Treasury yields on improving investor appetite for risk assets. A little closer to home, New Zealand's consumer price index rose 0.5% in March, leaving the inflation just off the bottom of Reserve Bank of New Zealand's target range of 1 to 3%. Australian unemployment for March decreased slightly to 5.5%, even as the economy added only 4,900 jobs. Our Fiji dollar is pegged to a trade-weighted basket of currencies, and the impact of these releases on Fiji dollar is coming up next. And that's all from your local bank, Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rates up this morning for the Fijian dollar. Movement on the currencies were mostly steady today, with the Fijian dollar making gains against the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen, while dropping against the Chinese yuan and the Australian dollar, and of course remained steady against the rest. As for the commodities market, all were up today, with oil prices closing at $68.74 per barrel. Gold closed at $1,348 an ounce, and silver was up to close at $17.11 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, a new tailor-made gym called Ultimate Fitness was opened in Lalala Beach Estate, Nasinu today. Executive Director and Head Coach James Dalata says this gym has been in the making for 5 years now, as he traveled to the US to be certified to take training sessions. He says the gym doesn't offer a walk-in session, but provides one-on-one tailor-made trainings. The head coach says the state-of-the-art equipment was brought in from Australia and the US. He adds the reason for this style of gymming is to allow Fijians the best fitness outcomes, keeping in mind the high NCD rates.
It's the appeal factor that that type of training had, and how it actually would improve lives, health. And so we sought out to open up a gym one is because we love training, and then at the same time we could actually help the high causes of death through NCDs.
And that's it from Business Tonight. But up next is Melly with the latest ahead of the much-anticipated Coke Games.
Thanks. Good evening. In sports tonight, the scene of Jasper wins first medal of the 2018 Coke Games, and surprises in the Coke Games 1,500 meters event. These and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।
Alumitan Dusun of Jasper Williams High School won the first 2018 Coca-Cola Games medal today at Suvas ANZ Stadium. Dusun won gold with a jump of 1.60 meters in the junior girls high jump this afternoon. Alumitan Dusun, who won silver at last year's Fiji finals, says her dream has come true.
I feel great, and firstly I thank God Almighty for His protection and for the strength. And thanks to the coaches, and I always feel happy when I jump over the height that I was aiming for.
Meanwhile, Muadawilati was speechless after winning Ratu Kandavulevu School's first gold medal in the senior boys shot put after a throw of 13.96 meters.
The event is good. My throws, I can't say much because I depend on God more about my throws, because of my energy, the strength that I have during the throws, during the process, and everything has come from God. But I just want to praise Him and thank Him for the glory and for the win.
The silver medal went to Isikeli Lumilum of Maris Brothers High School, while Natambua High School Simone Nalewambau got bronze in the senior boys shot put. Shane Tuvus of Natambua High School finished first in Heat 1 of the senior boys 100 meters this afternoon. Tuvusa won 3 gold medals last year. He is expected to win the blue ribbon tomorrow after he clocked the fastest time of 11.04 seconds. Here's the highlight.
Malasembe from Silver Grammar. Good start by Saint Tuvusa, and off he goes. Will it be a battle by Saint Tuvusa and Malasembe of Silver Grammar? Tuvusa looks good, but then Malasembe and Anarela from Balabu in the inside. It will be Saint Tuvusa again.
Meanwhile, Tuvusa's biggest threat will come from Tony Lemeke of Maris Brothers High School. Lemeke clocked a time of 11.05 seconds in Heat 2 of the senior boys. Have a look.
sprint, and out they go. And there goes John Baron, who couldn't make it the first time, but we have Maris Brothers High School. Maris on the run and breaking off from the rest is Maris Tony Lemeki, followed closely there by Convectory at Jim Dolosau. And as I've said earlier, right, quite evident on that one, it was the young lad Tony Lemeki, too good in that sprint.
And the Dakombau School sprinter Makereta Naulu was the favorite in a heat of the intermediate girls 100 meters today. Naulu clocked 12.59 seconds to finish first. Take a look.
The Commonwealth Games, and off they go. Slow start from Makereta Naulu, but a good start by Arin Korevla Masasangam College. But Makereta Naulu, as the favorite, lives up to the expectation of being the favorites for this one.
Tamari Andi Lasanga of Wainimbuka Secondary School won their first gold after finishing first in the 1,500 meters girls open division. Andi Lasanga proved too strong for Jasper and ACS to come out victorious and have something to take back with her to Wainimbuka. Here's the highlight.
To the last straight, here they come. Seal Wainimbuka, Aramari Andi Lasanga. This will be a sweet victory for Wainimbuka if they manage to nail this gold medal just behind her. It looks like she will, and definitely into the last 25 meters she comes. Damari Andi Lasanga from Wainimbuka Secondary has taken the gold medal. She looks up, she gives thanks to the heavens. She says, this gold medal is mine. I love you all despite you cheering for your schools.
Another surprise performance was shown by Sulu Vulona Maafu of Naita Series Secondary School in the Junior Boys 1,500 meters final this evening. Maafu came from behind to beat tough opponents from Suvagrama, Natambo and RKS to claim his gold medal. Here's the highlight of the last lap.
Setereki to Kenya now battling it out. Rafi Kandavulemu, Setereki to Kenya. Setereki to Kenya make trips. Leana Tambua coming forward. That trip could make costing the goal, but no, it's got it planned. But on the outer side, let's see it is coming through. And it looks like someone would have just nicked it. We'll wait for the replay outside. Yes, it is an upset. It would be one of the smallest schools that has confirmed to have taken the gold medal in this one. We'll try and get a shot of that so we can get a school to confirm for you on screen. And it looks like it is let's try and get number 1. It is Naita Series Secondary.
After day one of the Co-Games competition, ACS leads the girls division with 3 gold and a silver, followed by Jasper Williams High School with 1 gold, 2 silver, while Wainimbuka and Suvagrama are tied with a gold each on 3rd place. In the boys division, RKS is still leading with 2 gold, 2 silver and a bronze. Marist is in 2nd place with 1 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze, while QVS follows in 3rd place with 1 gold and a silver medal. In today's play of the day, Boston Celtics youngster Jaylen Brown throws down vicious hammer-dunking win over Bucks last night. Brown led the way with 30 points. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, we take a look at 2 cities in China who have installed a face recognition machine to dispense toilet paper. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Utiko minasong utiko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya zo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasawale, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
A new media, University of Alabama Birmingham master's student has developed an unusual tool to combat sexual assault, a bracelet. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's been a great day with some great weather. We're expecting few showers to roll in by tomorrow, so get your umbrellas all geared up if you're heading out to watch Co-Games. Taking a look in the West Fort today, another brightly lit day was experienced with light showers expected for later tonight. Eastwards from Pekhabarasuva, it was gorgeous and humid. And up north, a bit cloudy with light showers. Hope it's taking away all the mugginess. At sea, southeast winds gusting up to 35 knots with rough seas. For the tides, low tide tonight will be at 9:21 p.m. with high tide at 3:19 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:17. For tomorrow, as said earlier, there are showery clouds circulating with prospects of rain, so get all umbrellas and raincoats ready. For tomorrow, all centers will be in the higher 20s. And looking further on to Saturday, there's light showers to moderate showers expected. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, which school are you supporting in this year's Coke Games and why?
William Mono Secondary School, because it's in Nosuri and I'm from Vera.
I'm supporting Jasper because two of my sisters went there and I'm supporting it.
Jasper will win.
Ratonavola, because they got good athletes.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, 2 cities in China have installed technology which gives a person between 40 and 80 cm of toilet paper after they scan their face. Recapping the main stories, PM launches $100 million Fijian green bond. 73% of FMPF members have less than $10,000 in their accounts, and shortage of professional counsellors in schools. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should harsher sentences be given out to those attacking police officers? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent in by a Year 4 student of Teresa's school in Ba, Avisha. Absolutely gorgeous shot. You remember you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola untuk talita na radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale. Nagurara may nawamanyi. Nandunga. Gitu talita jadi ang gitu Venezuela nanggundo rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.